Welcome back to another amazing episode of Careful Boys, everybody. Today we have with us Kalyne Lionheart.
Oh! Welcome back, Kalyne.
We also got Anthony Lee. We got Joe Jitsukawa.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back.
I thought it'd be interesting because I know everybody's grown up with a different version of this, but what exactly is in the guy code?
Well,
I feel like this is like a test,
Don't sleep with your friend's girl.
I was gonna say mom. And letting him know.
Previous girl, wait, or your current girl. Your current girl or previous girl, just, yeah.
Okay, don't sleep with your friend's girl is in there, and mom.
you guys just do stuff. That's fine though.
Yeah. Over the pants.
All right, here's probably
Dry humping's okay.
one of the quickest #1 guy codes is like, let's say one of your homeboys tells you that they're like fucking around. And like, even if that chick is like your homie, you're supposed to not say shit.
Oh.
Right?
I know.
Facts. Actually ran into that
There
situation.
was a guy code for me where if you got into a fight and someone jumped in, you have to jump in, even if you're outnumbered.
That is true. That's another thing I remember.
You just have to jump in.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
There was So have you ever had guy code conflict with other guy code? Like two groups come together and then you're like, hey, that's weird guy code.
Yeah, I think that happens.
Like maritime guy code?
Huh?
Yeah.
Like you're at sea.
International waters, yeah.
So Arcadia, that's a richer neighborhood, right? And I remember hanging out with these group of people. They run deep. They're like 40 friends, a ton of friends, right? Yeah, they could go into a club.
Kinjas at that number.
Basically, they're like the Kinjas. A lot of people. But not as cool as you guys. But so when you go there,
First compliment. Yeah, let's go.
We give hugs now.
so the weird thing to me was that not only were they all classmates, so they date each other, but they dated each other after. So they're just a little fucking commune passing around
Runs, yeah.
like a private school.
Oh, they're just swapping people around.
Yeah.
And to me, that's weird guy code.
Like
That was
Bargio.
weird. Yeah, that was
Like Bargio. But at least in the guy code, it's not about not doing it. It's about asking if it's cool.
It's the code of conduct.
Code of conduct, yeah.
doing it behind.
But it isn't always about getting a yes or no. It's about being able to correctly read the yes or no. Because some guys within the guy code will say it's cool because they're following guy code of being a good dude, but they really don't want you to do it.
There's a vein
So
sticking.
you also have to read between that line. Yeah, it's weird, right?
What if we're homies, right? And I'm dating this chick for a long time, and then we break up, and then you work with this chick. What do you think of that? How do you deal with that?
Answer the question, Ryan.
Is there?
Answer the fucking question.
Wait, so say it again.
Is there?
So you're saying nothing's wrong.
Okay, but let's say
No.
Yeah, take it away.
See the what's the bad part?
Okay, so now you're working with this chick, right?
Yeah.
And then Joe, your fellow employee, starts dating this chick.
Oh, within the work.
Yeah, now you guys are all working together, but I'm your homie.
You gonna cock block that shit?
I mean, dating within the workplace, that's a problem by itself outside of.
Sure is.
Isn't that breaking labor code?
Some places it's okay.
Yeah, but we're not talking about labor code today. Come on, man. We're talking about guy code. You know what I mean?
When I was in the improv community, this happened all the fucking time.
Oh.
Like you're on a team with the chick, and then like you guys break up, and then a homie from the team dates her, and then all the other homies go hang out and stuff, and I'm like, yo, this is fucked.
And they leave you out.
I see.
Yeah, I'm like, this is
that is weird.
violating all kinds of treaties.
That's because they're all improv kids.
You think they're desperate to get that one girl?
See, I don't know if that's just as simple as guy code. I think that's just like bad friends as like a variable. Whereas like I feel like the guy code variable in there is more like, let's say the new chick and your old homie wanted to hook up. The guy code would be that guy going to you and being like, hey man, I'm catching feelings for this girl and I just want to like let you know blah blah, I want to talk to you about it.
Yeah.
That's the guy code. But if they're like fucking doing it and then they're just hanging out and ditch you, that's just bad friends.
Dude,
Yeah, that
tell me about
sucks.
it.
Well, what's your protocol within the guy code when this happens? Because here's the thing: we used to call it Hector Selector. When you have a friend that constantly makes claims and saying, "Hey, I like this girl now, so can you guys like chill?" Even though she doesn't like them, he's just like claiming
That guy's
it.
the worst, man.
Exactly,
That guy's
yeah.
he calls dibs as soon as you get there, and then you're like, this is fucked up, dude. You have no shot.
But then like without getting reciprocated feelings, he's already like, hey, I call dibs on Kalyne because I like her so.
And then she's like ignoring you the
I don't
whole
even know
night.
this guy.
She's got to drink. She's got her back to you the whole fucking night, talking to other people. Where you're like, hey, they're like, yeah. Oh, really? Yeah, that's cool. You're so cool. I want to like your cock.
That's almost like a
I say
abusive
that.
guy code or a misuse of guy code.
Is that homie a good friend?
That's what
Everybody gets to fuck up.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, everybody gets to fuck up at least once, for sure. Like,
Okay,
you're
that's
right.
nice. That's nice.
And then twice is like, there's a pattern. So even twice I can't get mad at. The third time I'm like, if that person comes in a third time and says that, I'm like, no, you fucked up already.
though. Because like if he just straight up sleeps with like an ex or something, doesn't tell you.
No, I think the fuck.
Yeah, you might as well not tell
I
me.
think the fuck could be as innocent in Hector Selector variable, because it's like, if he claims and then nothing happens and that was like a wasted opportunity for everybody else, then it's like, no problem. Second time he does it again, wasted opportunity, it's like, that's a bad pattern. Third time he claims, no, you're not allowed to do that.
Because everybody has that friend that's just so easily smitten and is like, oh, she's the one. She's the one. It's like constantly doing that shit.
Totally.
So I had something like that with a friend that wasn't like a close friend. We all just were out and about, and he wanted to hang out with girls. So I was just like, the girl I was talking to just told her bring some friends or whatever. We went to a lounge, we hung out, and then the girl that he was kind of getting into, like, she wasn't into him. He was being too thirsty and weird. So she's like, oh, I think I'm gonna go home, And then her friend was like, oh no, don't leave. And then she's like, yeah, I'm done. Like, so she left, but she decided to stay. But I was just like, I don't know, we're just gonna like chill tonight. I wasn't really like thinking about hooking up or anything. And then we're like at the club now, and he's like really onto her, cause he's so smitten by her now, cause she's the last one left. So then my friend comes up, who's a mutual friend. I barely know this guy, and he goes, out of principle, you must now fuck that girl. And I was like, wait,
Like
what?
the king is telling you that.
But I was oblivious at this time that she was into me. Cause I was like, I had like real low self-esteem. It was just like, I wasn't like thinking about that. I was just like, let's have a good time. Yeah, I was in a bad place. So I didn't recognize that she was like coming on that way. So he goes, hey, I just been watching this whole night. He goes, even though he's my friend and he introduced, us as friends, like he's being a piece of shit. And he goes, out of principle, you have to go home with her. So then I did, and he was so mad, and he said all night he was talking mad shit. And then after that, I became close to his friend, and we're like buddies now, and we don't even talk to the other guy.
Dang, you guys just deleted him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. Well, have you been in a situation where like let's say you knew a group of guys, right? And you had your eye on one of them. That was the one that in your mind was like, okay, he's cool. But then a different dude liked you, and they all started respecting that guy. So it kind of blocked everyone else out. Has that ever happened?
No, because I don't really hang out with a lot of large groups. It's very selective with who I hang out with.
You save on birthdays.
What did you say?
You save on birthdays. It's really good.
Save on
Oh,
birthdays.
okay.
That's a huge problem.
Dude,
in
Kinja's
large-
Dojo went down because of all the birthdays.
40 presents is a lot.
Fucking birthdays a year. Think about that.
And every single one is like,
birthdays.
dude.
Yeah, it's like, holy shit, what are we gonna do about this birthday?
Everyone's spending
That's why
at
I'm the
least
Luna.
$4,000 a year on just birthday presents.
That's a lot. That's a lot of presents.
You spend a fuck ton on birthdays and weddings and stuff for people.
That's like multiple birthdays in a
Anyways, it's about guy code again.
What's
But
the
maybe it's happened that I just wasn't aware of. Like I went out with a
Could
group
be,
of
yeah.
friends, and it was a situation like that.
What's the protocol then for in your guys' upbringings with guy code when two guys both are interested in the same girl? How do you settle that?
You have to fight, you have to war.
To the death. To the death, right?
Yeah.
It depends if you guys are actual friends or not. It depends on how close you are with this person. Because if you're close with them, then you can be just straight up with them. And then you'll know.
If it was you and Bart in like 2005.
I would know out of the conversation who wants her more.
Oh.
It wouldn't be up to her, that's for damn sure.
Fucking way, dude.
Fuck fucking
Not on our
He
fucking.
doesn't get a choice.
nothing to fucking do with
No.
this.
Yep.
No, you can actually go sit over there. We're gonna figure this out.
We'll come to you with a decision.
In the past, if I was like real talk, if I really cared about this guy and how they felt, and they were really my friend, out of the conversation, we probably figure it out. But if it's not, then it's every man for himself, and we weren't friends in the first place.
Oh.
This is the moment I'll know, because it's like, oh, is that how you are? Okay, well, whoever gets her, then we win, and we don't have to be friends. Yeah, I don't know.
Relationships do you think are ruined because of a mutual interest in a woman?
Relationships that should have been ruined.
That's true. Yeah, it's exposing the Achilles heel of that
Yep.
relationship. I think
I like the test.
it's a nice. It gets there quick.
I think I've only maybe ran into some essence of that in things like high school, but you're like still finding yourself too. So I feel like those relationships are just, you're such an adolescent, you're developing things, you know what I mean? You're finding out, the focus is building a new relationship already, versus even like maintaining an old one. So it's kind of like, I feel like if two dudes have a mutual interest in a chick and they can't figure out, like Joe said, and stay friends, like they're not meant to be friends. Because a chick who splits dudes up how's that a good friendship between guys?
That's true. That women don't have that power, really.
Yeah.
It's really just a weakness of the dudes. Yeah.
Totally.
I just had a flashback of our mutual friend Eddie.
Yeah.
So we had we would do these church camp meetings during the summer. It's kind of like, where you go with your age group and then you do camping activities, you stay together, it's co-ed and all that, right? And that's when you had like sleepovers, co-ed, in the same tent, whatever. And then I remember...
You guys had church co-ed sleepovers in the same tent?
That's so awesome.
Yeah. Well, like...
Girls and
they
guys
were
in one tent
Several
together?
tents. We
Oh, in the same like campground. Like,
get in the area, and then like we would pull all-nighters.
I was about to say.
And then there'll be like... Sometimes the chaperones will come check in real quick.
Prime time.
But it wasn't like we're fucking or nothing, but we were
I was hoping.
we were brushing our privates closely.
it sounds like you're dusting for fossils.
Yeah.
But they're
Rushing.
So the closest thing, which was pretty extreme back in the day, was putting your arm over someone.
Crazy.
Remember that shit like
My
that?
heart's beating like fucking nonstop.
That was crazy, right? So
The juice is flowing.
we both were kind of into the same two-ish girls, but we didn't know, and we were just flirting, right? And then so like
Two-ish. What's wrong with her? She got 3 arms.
She's just legs.
we both there were two pretty girls, and you had to just kind of shoot your shot and see which ones would like you back, right?
They had a friend that just lingered.
Yeah.
But it was me and him always. For some reason, it was always the same girl at the same time. So it's like there's two of them, but then how come you're giving her attention when I'm trying to flirt with her? And then so every single time it was a competition at the same, like it was like, why couldn't you do this elsewhere, right? So I remember like it was always like, so let's say we're on a church bus, like going to one of the fucking events, right? It's like we're fighting over who sits next to which girl or whatever, and then once we get there, it's like, oh, she fell asleep on my shoulder. And then the other one's sitting in the back, like steaming, like, you fucking son of a bitch, she has her fucking head on your shoulder.
Oh, those are fun. Doing
You guys are gonna get married.
Yeah.
pretty much.
And then,
Already having
like,
babies.
and then you go, oh, she doesn't like me anymore. And then she comes up to you when you're like in a circle, fucking talking ghost stories or something, and she sits next to you and does this shit to your arm. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you see that, Eddie, you son of a bitch? She likes me now. And it would be like that, but it would
so severe.
and then the other girl that we both kind of like too would be left out. And it would be switching with the 4 of us.
So she must be thinking too, like, what's going on?
And they're so confused. And we just keep flirting with the same 2 girls and can't make a
And
decision.
in the meantime, the youth pastor's like, guys, focus on the Lord.
But I think we were like 13 at the time, and we never talked about it.
I just
we
like that
never
they're like-
fucking
Yeah,
talked
it's all unspoken.
ever.
I
Yeah.
like that they're rubbing privates in their tent, but the tent's walls are like this thick, so you can hear sleeping bags like.
You can hear everything. Oh, that reminds me. I had so I have a homie that he's really good on guy code, and I remember he got really pissed. I'll tell you who this is afterwards, but he got really mad about Mike's song one time, and he was like, "Man, Mike's song, every time my girl's around, he just becomes this comedian and starts making her laugh so damn hard. And he was like, is Mike's song this funny all the time? Like, or is it just when my girl's here?
So funny. That's so funny.
And he was like steaming bad.
Fuck yeah, Mike.
I was like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's
Answer the question. Is Mike Song a comedian all the time?
Absolutely not, but he's a player.
Why is it gotta make her so happy?
You guys know who Jets quarterback Zach Wilson is?
No.
He's quarterback of Jets.
That was our trivia moment of the day.
So Zach Wilson's dating this chick all throughout high school, right? And he's a star quarterback and shit like that. So and she's like a really attractive young lady, right? And they all of a sudden break up, and then all of a sudden, like via Instagram, you see she starts kicking it with his like wide receiver buddy on the team. No. Fucked up, right? So then everyone's like, you're a fucking homie betrayer and all this shit. In her comments, every time she posts anything, homie hopper, that's what it is, homie hopper.
Homie hopper.
They're like, you're a homie hopper, you're a fucking homie hopper. And everything that she posts, she gets called a homie hopper. And then one day, she finally fucking lets it slip. She's like, fuck that. He was fucking my mom's friend.
Whoa, Zach Wilson was?
She's like, my name's not gonna be tainted.
He's a MILF, he's a MILF hunter. He's the MILF hunter, bro.
In New York, dude.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
Wow.
I don't even know, like, guy code, I have to sit here and fucking, like, put it all on strings and walls.
That's
and shit,
grounds. That's grounds for her. I think it's in her favor.
I think it is.
It's her favor.
Yeah, that's just a.
Someone's mom.
Homie hopper.
Probably.
I will. I'm gonna go into your comments right now and call her homie hopper.
You know what violates guy code for me? Is when guys gossip.
Okay.
So
What kind of gossiping?
So it's like, I told you something secret that's supposed to be between us. And then you went off and told everybody in the world.
That's
I was
breaking
like,
guy code, yeah?
That's guy code.
Yeah, I
That's
was
guy code
like-
violation.
Oh man, come on, man.
That makes sense.
That's
You're like
secret.
being my aunt right now.
With no presents.
Yeah, especially when it has to do with your dick size, am I right?
Everybody knows.
Out of a lot of, like, there's very many nuances with whether or not you're breaking it, but two that I really think are very strict is do not try to build rapport with another guy's girl by talking shit on him.
Ooh,
That's the worst.
that's a big.
That's a fact.
Unless they're married and then you're all good. Then you're like, yeah, fuck this guy, right?
That sucks.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about? Where you try to play into their, like, hey, like, I'm just looking out for you.
That guy.
I don't know who he was with.
That guy's a cuck for sure.
Yeah, it's like that snake shit, but it's not really because he's trying to help her. It's really because he's trying to be the savior. Yeah.
I have a blanket party with that guy. You fucking throw a blanket on him and you hit him with a phone book till he
You should have a blanket party.
Dude, that sounds like a fun time.
Yeah. The yellow pages, dude.
Funny is the same thing would probably apply for like ladies too. It's just shitty behavior. Humans just shouldn't do these things.
Wait, is there like
code?
girl code that's
There's
like,
no girl code.
Girls are the worst.
I feel like Kalyne goes more by guy code than
Absolutely,
girl
it's
code.
true.
Yeah.
I think I follow guy code more than I follow whatever girl code.
The sisterhood of trailing pants.
Is girl code the opposite? Is like when I said at the beginning, where with guy code, it's like even if, my homie is doing something kind of shady, and then the chick is my homie too, I don't say anything to the chick. Yeah. Is the girl code the exact opposite?
Where you tell everybody everything.
You have to say
The
something.
chick is doing something kind of shady, and the guy's my homie, so I have to tell the guy that the chick is being like breaking that. I don't want to say breaking that girl code, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If I'm a chick and then my chick homie is doing something shady too, and then she's got a man, but that man is also kind of a friend, I go up to the man, I'm like, hey, this chick's acting up. Is that like girl code? That happened a few times.
I would debate how I want to get involved.
So it's gray area. That's what girl code is. Gray area.
It's circumstantial.
A lot of sussery,
Yeah, there it is.
I ended a friendship over guy code violations. Well, it was really just like
How many violations were there?
It was like 21.
Oh shit.
No, I was in a situation. I think I've talked about this before, but my buddy was like cheating on his wife, like hardcore, like in my roommate's room, like at my apartment.
Oh, that's deep.
And I didn't know. I thought he's just fucking around because he'd always like do bits about how hard he's cheating on his wife and shit. And he would do it in front of her, and she's like laughing and shit. And then one day he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna invite a chick over," and like, "Yeah, from Craigslist." And I'm like, really?
Craigslist?
I'm serious, dude. He did that. And then he had been communicating with her on email, but that's how he found her, was Craigslist.
Oh my god.
So then
I didn't know you could hook up like that.
Then I'm like, just for the like kecks and shit, for the lulz, I'm like, all right, this is kind of fun. Like, I don't think this is really happening. So then he actually has a girl come over, and then he's like railing her in the next room, and I'm like, holy shit, this is actually happening. And I was friends with both of them because I actually met her doing something that I probably shouldn't say because it'll really identify things, but I met her first, and then I met him. So like I felt like but we're not really friends because she was married to him, so it wasn't like, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's like we're cool though, and it's like we're friends or whatever because I'm friends with both of you in your marriage, right? And then after that, I was like, I can't even fucking look at her in the eye. Like I was like, I can't be around this.
That's the other thing too. Like if something like that happens, your guy code's so strong, so you're like, I'm not gonna tell them, but with my eyes, you're gonna know that.
Fade to black, dude. I'm done. I'm out. Peacing. Later.
That's that same example that I gave you guys like a few months back, where when I broke guy code, was because a girl bartered girl code against mine. She goes, I know something your girl did, but you got to tell me something my dude did.
You told me that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a fair exchange.
But I regret it. I think I made the wrong decision. I should have just said fuck it. And I should have said, hey, if you know something, I should just break up with her because it must be bad, right? I don't need to know what it is. I should have just like silently took action, but instead I fell for it and I was like, all right, let's hear it. And she gave me that thing, and it was merited to be like, okay, my relationship's over. But and then she was like, can you just give me anything? She's like, I know you know something. And I sold him the hell out.
That's an offer you can't refuse.
But is it really guy code if you guys aren't truly friends?
Refuse.
He was my best friend at the time.
Okay, never mind. You'll sell out your best friend like that.
Well, you're
fucked
also
up.
you were put on leverage though. You know what I'm saying? That's like holding information ransom.
But also, don't you think you should be in a position, if you're really good friends with this person, to have a conversation with him about the things that he's doing that is just terrible?
Hell yeah, I'm fucking be the first one to call and say, what the fuck is wrong with you, son of a bitch?
Just like looking the other way because it's just guy code. You should have that conversation with that person.
I think that's what complicates guy code, is when you have a guy within that code that's it's making it really tough. Like, he wasn't just like he was serially cheating. Like it was really bad. It would have caught up to him eventually, and it you know, it did in other ways later as well.
Sure, he knew anyway.
But it's like some guy codes are really hard to keep for that reason. Like with that, you know, like it's happening in front of you. You're now like an accomplice to it.
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of affects your conduct as a person. So
You ever confront him like, you're fucking making me accessory to cheating?
Yeah.
And I didn't get my dick wet.
I was Donnie Brasco, dude. I was too far in.
I didn't get to come, and I'm guilty.